Up with KREM begins now.
There's no question that our hospitals are about to be overrun. Do not be at all surprised when we hit 200,000 cases a day.
Well, experts say the pandemic is taking a turn for the worse. This is from a member of President-elect Joe Biden's advisory board. However, our nation's leading health expert is sharing positive news on a vaccine.
And this morning, we're also taking the most recent look at coronavirus numbers out of Spokane as local cases continue to spike.
Meanwhile, the Washington Board of Health said there could be mandatory restrictions in the future. They said Thanksgiving could cause cases to rise, so we're talking about how to celebrate safely.
Happy Veterans Day. We're talking about what you can do to celebrate, so stick around because we're also sharing some fun facts about the holiday.
And we got to look at weather. We're talking fog this morning and an incoming storm this weekend. I'll have what you need to know.
All right, good morning, everyone. Breaking news from the Up with KREM Election Center. I'm Tim Pham. CBS News has called Alaska for President Trump. So let's take a live look at the map right now from CBS News. So right now, President Trump has gained 3 electoral votes by winning the state of Alaska. It's at the bottom left of your screen. It's being covered by the graphic there. But I do want to let you know that it brings President Trump's total now to 217 electoral votes. And then Joe Biden leads with 279. Now, this is according to CBS News. Meanwhile, you might be noticing some different numbers from the AP. AP has not called Alaska, but they have called other states such as Arizona. That's why you're seeing different numbers reflected on different outlets. So right now, according to the AP, Joe Biden still leading with 290 electoral votes. Meanwhile, President Trump has 214, again, because they have not called Alaska. So that's one of the reasons why you're seeing different numbers from different outlets. But of course, nonetheless, all outlets reporting that Joe Biden has exceeded that magic number of 270, which is why many are calling him the president-elect of the United States. From the Up with KREM Election Center, I'm Tim Pham. I'll send things over to Jen.
All right, Tim, thanks so much for walking us through that, helping explain why you might be seeing some different electoral vote results depending on which outlet you're looking at. But of course, that's something we will continue to track this morning. Tim, again, thank you. 7:32 now, but if you are headed outside today, you might expect a bit of a haze in the sky. This is a live look from the mobile storm tracker this morning. A bit foggy to kick off our morning.
Yeah, meteorologist Jeremy Lagoof is following this closely this morning. You warned us about the icy conditions, Jeremy, coming in. But what about this fog? What can we expect for that?
The fog is doing what fog often does in a situation like this. It sometimes gets hard to find, but if you find it, it is thick. And that's what we are seeing this morning. Parts of Coeur d'Alene seeing some of that fog waking up to those hazy skies. That's from the moisture left over from yesterday's storm. Coeur d'Alene visibility about 2.5 miles. You head over to Airport Heights, visibility down to about 1/4 mile. Deer Park even less than that, and here in Spokane, visibility is just fine. So a few spots starting to see some of that fog. We still have that dense fog advisory lasting until 9 a.m. So that is in place just because we could see a little bit more of that foggy activity. It's foggy at Spokane International Airport right now, and temperatures are trending in the 20s just about everywhere. Notice that difference, though, between Coeur d'Alene and Sandpoint and Spokane. That slight difference is the reason we have more widespread fog than they do. Temperatures slowly climb because of the fog and the clouds. In fact, by this afternoon, looking at temps topping out in the mid-30s. That's about 10 degrees below where they should be this time of year.
Yeah, don't you know it, Jeremy? I certainly could feel it stepping outside this morning.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. 7:34 now. Well, this morning, our nation's leading health expert is sharing some promising news about a COVID-19 vaccine. Dr. Anthony Fauci says it could be ready by spring. And this week, Pfizer leaders say that vaccine could be 90% effective. And by next week, it is expected to go through the FDA's emergency authorization process.
By the time we get into December, we'll be able to have doses available for people who are judged to be at the highest priority.
So here is what we know about the vaccine test so far. Leaders reported 94 infections out of 44,000 participants. Now those tests are still being completed, so those results could change by the end of the year. But news of that vaccine sent stocks soaring this week on Wall Street. And leaders say it will be given in 2 doses. The second dose comes 3 weeks after the first. After 1 year, they say a third dose can act as a booster shot. Now, experts add they can change that vaccine if the virus mutates, but the cost for those 2 shots is $19.50. But Pfizer and the U.S. government worked out a deal so the cost is covered and free to everyone.
Thank you, Jen. That is some great news, but there's also some frustrating trends continuing to pile up this week as Spokane County continues to push those record weekly highs for the coronavirus. Let's take a closer look at the latest data this morning. We are looking at data from the Spokane Regional Health District today, of course, showing us the case numbers over the past week. As you can see over there on the far right, higher now than they've been at any other time this year. And you remember the curve that we worked so hard to get flat here in late summer and early autumn? Well, it's now basically aimed straight up as a full-on spike. On Saturday, Spokane County reported a shocking new single-day record at 348 new cases in 1 day. And just yesterday, we saw 137 new cases reported. But before we get into that, let's take a quick look as we remove the curve and basically take a look at the data a different way. I want to look at the way that we've basically gathered up data since March until now. You see those orange dates there? Starting with Spokane's first recorded date in March, the health district has reported 9 days where daily cases totaled over 100 up until the end of September. So 9 times in 201 days. Since then, we have seen 22 single-day totals climbing above 100, including yesterday's count at 137. Now, that's double the amount of plus 100 daily case reports in a fifth of the time. By the way, those orange days, we've crossed that 100 mark 11 times just in the past 2 weeks. Tim?
All right, Joshua, thanks so much. We are just about 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving, and this morning, an urgent warning from state leaders about how to celebrate the holiday this year as COVID cases surge across the state. That's in the next 20 minutes.
And we're taking a look outside early on this morning, a little bit of patchy fog. I'll let you know how long that's expected to stick around.
And this morning, we want to honor your veterans. Send us a shout-out photo at 509-448-2000, and you can see them on Up with KREM this morning. We're talking about local events in our area right after the break.
And on this Veterans Day, we would like to honor our veteran population in Spokane by sharing information about people who have served, including this. This year, Veterans Day honors the 30th anniversary of the Gulf War. More than 650,000 service members served in Operation Desert Shield and Desert Storm from August 2nd, 1990 to July 21st, 1991.